listening to the Real Elevation podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hendricks, and here we discuss topics on personal fitness, well-being, and elevation of mind and body. Join us as we help build and grow a community of real, elevated men and women. If you're currently feeling frustrated, flat, and fed up with life, or want to be a physically and mentally elevated individual, you're invited to join us each and every week here on the Real Elevation podcast. Welcome to the RE family and get ready to elevate your mind and body. Welcome to the Real Elevation podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hendricks, and today we have another outstanding, informative and elevating show for you. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all first-time listeners to the show, and be sure to stay to the end where I will be sharing all my social media links where you can connect with us as we continue to grow the Real Elevation podcast community. Thank you. I really appreciate you tuning in once again for another fantastic and elevating and real show that we have for you in store today. Today we are going to be diving deep into the journey and talking about reclaiming our health and vitality, especially for men, women who are over the age of 40, 45, 50s, who find themselves stretched thin by the modern demands of life. The reality is we have to take responsibility for our health because it's never been more crucial. We know, we look around us in the world, it's chaotic. Today's fast-paced life is just laden with people that are overlooking their self-care, and it comes at a cost, but you're here because you don't want to do that. Our cost is our physical health and our mental health if we're not taking responsibility, and that cost also ripples into our overall quality of life. So taking responsibility for our health goes beyond just starting a diet or just being a little bit hit and miss with your exercise routine. You know, I talk about keeping it real, and we talk about responsibility, eating right, keeping active, and obviously loving ourselves. It's being proactive, guys. This is what we're talking about today, and making choices that enable you to thrive rather than just going about life living this mundane, slow, survival type mentality. We are here to really think about how we can look to prioritize our wellness, how we can really look back to gaining that energy, that focus, that clarity, and that emotional resilience that we need in the world today. So we can show up, at our fully and forthright and firm and really positive best in this world, because the world needs us right now. As I say, we look around at all the chaos that's going on. We need people that have taken responsibility, who are vital, who are healthy, who are thriving. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about exactly that. Rise up and rejuvenate. 4 must-do steps to take responsibility and reclaim your health and vitality. Rise up and rejuvenate. 4 must-do steps to take responsibility and reclaim your health and vitality. This is a call to action for you guys. Really, really something that I'm passionate about, people living their vital lives. So we're going to go through these 4 steps so you can take responsibility, reclaim your health and your vitality. Number 1, mindset shift and adopting a healthy first mentality. And we spoke about this in last week's episode about mentality and mindset. If you didn't catch that, I'll leave a link in the show notes so you can go check it out. But our journey to reclaiming our health begins with a mindset transformation. We need to think about what we're actually wanting to achieve in our life. You've heard me say many times before that responsibility comes with how we think. Everything that you do, the lens that you view the world, the way you behave, how you show up, comes from how you think. The trap that I often see people fall into, they subconsciously think and believe that somehow their health will manage itself, or that someday we'll focus on it when we're less busy, or things slow down, we have a little bit more time. But the reality is life does not slow down. Life often speeds up, especially as you get older. Things can get more hectic, more busy. And until we take a different view in terms of being intentional, it's easy to find ourselves drifting into patterns that can contribute to fatigue, weight gain, and getting stressed and anxious. We need to be intentional, and that comes with taking responsibility. So shifting to that health first mentality, not that it's something that becomes obsessive, but you're just thinking, I need to prioritize my health. This means that we're putting wellness on par, our well-being on par with other priorities, and making it consistent. That's what health first mentality means, and we need to start doing that, taking responsibility, so we can get back to reclaiming our health and be more vital. Now, there's some practical things that you can do that's going to help you have that health first mentality. One is to start doing visualizations, affirmations. Set aside 5 minutes each morning. Just do some visualizations of what life would be like when I'm at my healthiest and vitalized best. Picture yourself doing the things, going places, having those conversations, saying affirmations, saying, I'm in control of my health. My life is full of vitality. My life is full of wellness. Might sound a little bit silly, but just try it. Trust me, these are things I do, these things I encourage my clients to do, and their lives truly change. So try visualizations and affirmations. Number 2, set an intention of health-focused habits. Now, I said it's nothing you have to become obsessed about, but start looking at setting yourself small, healthy habits that you can do so you can stay focused on your health each day. So for me, a big one is drinking water. I'm not always consistent when it comes to drinking water. I'm just telling the truth, keeping it real. But what I try to do every day is take that bottle of water with me, make sure I finish it at some point throughout the early afternoon, and then refill it again. That way I know I'm practicing. I'm setting intention that I'm drinking those 2 bottles of water every day. And sometimes I fall into the habit of doing it all the time, and sometimes I drop out of the habit. But I know I set that intention, I'm going to drink that water every day. And third, think about positively reframing of those choices that you make. So it's easy and it's very tempting that we can make less healthy choices, but pause and ask yourself the question, is this choice I'm making in line with my best self? So if you skip that workout, is it in line with your best self? Is eating that pizza in line with your best health? Is having those 2 bottles of wine as opposed to 1 bottle of wine in line with your best self? So look at reframing those choices and ask yourself, do these choices I'm making align with my ideal to be my vitalized best? Is it in line with my health first mentality? If it's not, take a pause and maybe think about making another choice. So there are 3 practical things that you can do to adopting that health first mindset. Number 2, fuel for energy, eat clean, and whole foods consistency. So fuel for energy, eat clean with whole foods consistently. So here it is in a simple nutshell. Our bodies respond to what we consume, especially as we age. You've heard that saying, you are literally what you eat. If you're eating clean, healthy, whole foods, guess what? That's going to be reflective in your body. On the flip side, that's the case as well. So eating nutrient-dense foods keeps energy levels steady, maintains good clarity, and helps combat inflammation, which we know can worsen as we age. Those processed, those sugary foods, those refined foods contribute to fatigue, they contribute to cravings, they contribute to feeling sluggy and sluggishness. So whole foods are the key for us moving forward. So here are a few practical solutions that you can incorporate and look to apply to help fuel for energy. Number 1, think about embracing a Mediterranean type diet or a Mediterranean inspired diet. So we know the Mediterranean diets are famous for focusing on vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, whole grains, and healthy fats like olive oils. sources such as nuts and avocados where you can get those healthy fats from. Foods include thinking like leafy greens, veg, berries. These are all packed with antioxidants. Fatty fish like salmon, tuna, mackerel, they're all packed with omega-3s. They all support things such as a healthy heart, healthy joint function, brain clarity. Brain clarity. So make an effort to have those foods in your diet as often as possible. Number 2, you can think about planning for your busy lifestyle. We've all got things to do. We've all got places to go. So how about taking 30 minutes each week or an hour each week just to plan for your meals? Think about, I've got to start eating, fueling my body for energy. So how about taking an hour out to start planning meals throughout the day? Often we don't really think about food till we get home and see, right, what's in the fridge, and we just grab whatever. But if we were to be a bit more deliberate, plan, say, right, every Monday morning or every Monday evening or every Sunday night, that's the time when I often do my planning is Sunday evening, is I'm going to plan for my meals ahead. And it doesn't have to be every night. Just say, right, out of the 7, I'm going to have 6 or 5 or 4 healthy meal options, and I'm going to plan for those. And number 3, I talked about it before, it's an area that I'm working on all the time, is that hydration. See hydration of your body as a non-negotiable. Set a goal of drinking a minimum amount of water a day. So for me, it's those 2 bottles. Ideally, we should be drinking between 6 to 8 glasses of water. Clean, pure, ideally not tap water, at least filtered water, spring water or mineral water. That's the best type of water. Or living water, which I'll speak about in another podcast. But ideally, 8 glasses, or for me, 2 bottles of water every day. Remember, you can get water in your food sources as well, so also bear that in mind. Foods that are rich in water are things such as fresh lemon, cucumber, obviously watermelon, berries. They're all good sources of water in your food as well. So see hydration as a non-negotiable. Applying those 3 practical steps, you'll be on your way to fueling for energy and eating clean and those whole foods consistently. Number 3, physical movement, incorporating consistent functional exercise. Number 3, physical movement and incorporating consistent functional exercise. So we're talking about how we can take responsibility and reclaim our health and vitality. That's what we're talking about today. Rise up and rejuvenate. And number 3, that means physical movement. As we age, physical movement becomes not just beneficial but essential for maintaining our strength, mobility and balance. Physical inactivity can lead to muscle loss, reduced flexibility and diminished bone density, things that we really don't need and can do our best to avoid. Functional exercises, so those that may mimic and simulate real life movements, are particularly valuable because they improve our ability to perform everyday tasks. So we're talking about squatting, we're talking about lunging, we're talking about twisting, we're talking about bending, we're talking about pushing, we're talking about pulling. These are what we call functional movements, things that we do in our everyday life. So those things that are going to be essential to us as we get older, getting up and out of a chair, getting in and out of our car, getting in and out of the bath. These things that people who get older struggle with, getting down to play with the grandkids, bending down on our knees. These are the things that we need to be practicing in our functional exercise practices on a daily basis. So what can we do in terms of practical solutions to help make sure we're keeping that physical movement good and consistent? So number 1, think about breaking into mini exercise sessions. Often we get told by the industry, influencers, so-called experts, that we have to do hard, long workouts. Think about breaking it down. If you've got limited time, which many of us do, breaking it down into 10-minute sessions. Micro workouts, we've talked about doing things that you can do in a 10-15 minute window. We've all got 10-15 minutes a day. If you check on your phone, see how long you spend on your phone doing nothing of real productivity, you've got 10 minutes. So, example that you could do on a morning before you pick up the phone, And I know this is something we're all laughing at now. Before you pick up the phone and start scrolling, can you do some mobility exercises, some stretching exercises, things that's going to help you improve your mobility, your range of exercises in the joints, keep them nice, healthy, and strong? Can you do that? Can you do it at lunchtime when you have your lunch break at work? Is that something that you could actually do to keep yourself mobile and strong? Number 2, prioritize strength training. So strength training is very important. Can you do that twice a week? I often prescribe to my clients that come to me for help is 90 minutes of exercise a week, or 2 hours, up to 2 hours of exercise a week. So that's 4 30-minute sessions. Can you find 4 30-minute sessions or 4 30 minutes to do some strength conditioning? Talking about working the upper body, we talking about the lower body, and we talk about working the body globally as a whole. Can you find time to do that? And 3, can you finish each day with a quick stretch routine, focusing on mobility and help to take out tension in the body? So things like your hips, your back, shoulders, often areas that we get tight and tense. Can you finish your day with doing some simple stretches that can help you rest, relax, recover, and improve circulation and reduce that stiffness, and also help you to get a good night's sleep? So there are 3 things that you can actually do to help ensure that you are being consistent with practicing that physical movement, which is essential to keeping yourself vital and healthy. And finally, number 4, reduce stress, prioritizing mental health and quality sleep. So can we do our best to reduce the amount of stress that we have in our life? Because we know when we talk about chronic stress, this can silently undermine our health. It can lead to things like our immune system being weakened, impairing our sleep, and contributing to things such as high blood pressure and inflammation in our bodies. So it's important that we learn to manage our stress and we prioritize our sleep as the foundation of our resilience. That helps us with recovery, helps us maintaining good levels of energy. Without the right amount of rest, our bodies won't be able to repair themselves. Things like our mental clarity will diminish and we won't feel our best. So we must make sure that we're managing our stress, we're keeping a good night's sleep, and we're using that as, if you like, our unsung heroes. Your sleep and rest. Don't talk about them much, but they're very, very important, and they require us to pay attention to it, making sure that we're intentional with our rest practices and making sure that we get a good night's sleep. So what are some practical solutions that we can look to implement to help us reduce stress and manage our mental health better, and also quality of sleep? One of the things that we can do is incorporate daily mindful practices. So you've heard me talk many, many times about doing things such as helping ourselves to remain present. We can do certain meditation practices. We can listen to certain meditations on certain apps like Headspace or Calm, which are very popular apps that can give you just 5-10 minutes that you can just fit or seamlessly integrate into your daily life, but help you to just take time out, get yourself present, be more mindful, think about what you're doing, and that's going to help you to be more restful, more calm as you go throughout your day. Number 2, you can be more mindful when it comes to your downtime and your bedtime routine. So establish a good bedtime routine. So an hour before your bed, think about, right now it's time for me to wind down. So dim down the lights, avoid those dreaded phones, get off your tablet, try not to watch anything that's negative before you go to bed, and engage in a relaxing activities such as reading a book, listening to music. Something like taking a warm bath can be beneficial as well, but aim to be in bed at the same time each night. So you're establishing a good routine. You're telling and training your body, this is my downtime, and it's going to help to encourage you to get a sound night's sleep, a quality night's sleep, and it's going to be consistent with your circadian rhythm. It's going to help you get that better, more quality night, deeper night's sleep. And number 3, we spoke about it, but be deliberate with your detox of your digital items. One thing I encourage my clients to do, because digital items, phones, laptops, computers, are such an interwoven part of our life now. We struggle to put them down, but can we have a detox for 1 day a week? Is that something that you can do? Because we know that when we disconnect from our screens, our emails, our apps, it helps us to be more present. It helps promote good mental health. It helps us to be more mindful. And as we talked about, it helps improve our quality night sleep. So is that something that you can do? Just unplug for 24 hours. It might not be practical to do it for 24 hours because you're running a business, you need to be connected, and I get that. You might be responsible for children, parents, that kind of thing. You need to be connected. But is there a point throughout the week where you can say, right, do you know what? I'm just going to be present. I'm going to go out in nature. I'm going to detox from the digital world because I've done it. I still do it. And it's great just to get away, just to escape. So it's something that you could practically do that's going to help you be less stressed, reduce that stress in your life, promote good mental health. And as we mentioned, get a good quality night's sleep. Challenge yourself with that one. Digital detox. All right, guys, so there you have it. We've been speaking about today, rise up and rejuvenate. This is my call to action. 4 must-do steps to take responsibility and reclaim your health and vitality. We spoke about number 1, shifting your mindset, having that health-first mentality. Try prioritizing your health, same way you do other things, and maybe with other people as well. Number 2, fuel for energy. Eat clean, whole foods consistently. We've heard me speak about that, and I will continue to bang that drum because it's so important. Number 3, physical movement. Are you moving your body, incorporating consistent functional and exercising and functional movements such as squats, lunges, pushes, and pulls? And then we've just spoke about stress reduction, prioritizing your mental health and getting a good quality night's sleep. So you've got to take responsibility. It's up to you. The world needs you showing up at your best physically and mentally, more resilient, more robust best. It's an ongoing journey. It's not something that happens overnight. It's not a one-time fix. I always say to my clients, it's a process and a practice, not an event. But make intentional, conscious choices. That's you taking responsibility. And each day that you do that, you will be moving towards being more vital, more energized, and more healthy. Remember, health is a gift. It's how we show up in the world. We need to prioritize our health. Adopting those 4 steps will help you to really prioritize that gift. You know, when it's like we get something that's a cherished gift, you look after it. And that's what we want to be doing with our health. Prioritize your health. And in turn, you'll elevate all aspects of your life. Trust me, it's something that I do and I teach and I share with my clients, and you can do the same. Take responsibility, reclaim your health and vitality. So my question is, are you going to do it? Are you going to prioritize your health, your vitality? Let me know. Get in touch. You can contact with me on all the normal platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, and on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook under Mike Hendricks. You can connect with me on LinkedIn with the same Mike Hendricks. And you can find me on Instagram under the handle Hendricks Holistic 44. All right, guys, that is it for today. Appreciate you tuning in. Remember, let me know how you're going to do. Remember to leave a like, share this, and leave a 5-star review. That would be really appreciated as we continue to grow the Real Elevation podcast community. Until next time, remember, be well, be wise, be cool, be calm, and keep it real. Blessings and chi. Peace.